An Ocean in My Soul by Charise Sowells, directed by Darius Slagle. Scene 1. The stage is moving like a black ocean. In the water, heads and limbs bob up and down. The moon shines full and bright in the distance. An omniscient voice speaks after a moment or two.
Bobbing in this sea of transnational beings, trying to keep our head above the water which has stolen so much of our past. We are united by our displacement. Black, African, mixed, gay, Afro-Asian, Brits, indigenous people, and all people in marginalized societies everywhere. Due to the recklessness of colonization and slavery, indentured servitude, and forced migration, mixed breeding of people like dogs, and the destruction of cultures and lands for economic profit. To all of you who have suffered the repercussion of these movements, this is our home. And how, you may ask, is this sea, darkened by our bloody histories, anything one might call a home? It is the one location that binds us and keeps us strong when the rest of the world weakens us and detaches us from who we are and where we came from. It is a way to hold on to what has been tossed and thrashed to pieces for centuries. This ocean of memories is the Black Atlantic, the one place we can always refer back to so that we may never forget the sacrifices of our ancestors. Instead, we shall remember the community of which we are a part and know that we are never alone in our struggle. Welcome home.
The water begins to boil furiously, taking the heads below the surface. A ship rolls in. Most importantly, the grand sails move across the water. Colonist, a jovial European man, quite satisfied with himself, walks on stage in front of the water and stands with scroll in hand, spotlight on him.
Hello, you savage beasts. Please, do be kind and pay us mind for only a moment. This land you have is quite lovely, I must say. The time has come for you to evolve into a civilized existence with a civilized language and a civilized belief system. Most importantly, you are in dire need of a civilized economy with monetary values and hierarchy. Do you understand? You will thank us for this later, I promise. Your land will be more prosperous than you ever fathomed possible. We ask for your cooperation. Oh, who am I kidding? You will cooperate with us or face the consequences. Those being a slow and painful death, a breaking down of your spirits, a raping of your most prized women, oh, and just for fun, the stealing of your children. We will do our best to keep your families together, but at this point, you're seen as part of the land and will be treated thus. Any questions? Of course not. You don't understand a word I'm saying, do you? Well, isn't that grand? Please, sign here, my friends, and submit your lives to our hands.
The colonist offers his scroll and a feather pen to the audience. Spotlight off. Scene 2. On the other side of the stage, Gilbert and Lydia, a black man and woman, sit. The mother cradles a baby to her breast. Soft light shines upon them. The baby is lighter in complexion than the both of them.
He's quiet now.
He was just hungry.
I don't want him to go.
It's not up to us, Gilbert, you know that?
I do. That doesn't mean I like it.
I don't like him much either. He's my baby no matter how he came to be. He's my only one. But he's gonna have a good life. Better than the life we could give him.
He's gonna be out there telling us what to do like that man Neil is now. Yelling at us all the time like he forgot where he came from. I mean, he's gonna forget who he is too. They all do.
Not if I have anything to do with it. They might take him away, but he's still my little boy.
I love him like he's my own child too, Lydia. I don't know why, but I do.
Because you love me, that's why.
I suppose that's true. I gotta get back to work. You better hurry up too before Master gets mad.
I'm feeding his baby for God's sake.
That don't make no difference to him, Lydia. I see you don't got much more than 5 minutes before he comes out looking for you.
He exits.
You almost finished, baby Alex? Mama's gotta get back to work, you hear? You sure are beautiful, you know that? Amazing, something so beautiful could come from what I done went through. Didn't think I wanted it at the time. I was screaming for my life. But instead of listening to me, God gave me you. Just because Mama's crying doesn't mean you need to start. Mama's gonna be all right, Alexander. Mama's gonna be all right. Listen quietly, be still, and you'll see all is calm here. Close your eyes and enter your dream. Dream.
Alex is finally asleep. She carries him off stage to put him to bed. Lights out. Scene 3. An older Alexander walks to the other side of the stage. Grown up and dressed more like the colonist than his parents, he carries a whip. Following after him is the colonist.
I think you've been doing a mighty fine job up until this point, Alexander. Do not disappoint me now. I'm relying on you to make sure that this plantation runs properly. And if that means beating those niggas until they ain't got no more power to say anything about it, then that's what I expect you to do.
Yes, massa.
You may not think that I understand what's going on here, but I see it all, clear as day. You feel sympathetic for that negress who gave birth to you, but she is not your mother anymore. She is no different than the rest of them niggers out there. She is beneath you. Does she feed you?
Not anymore, massa.
No, she doesn't. And she barely gave you food when she had you. She gave you what was in her breasts, and once that ran dry, we took you into our home and raised you up in our house so you were strong and healthy, like a good overseer should be. Now look at your clothes, and look at all the poor niggers out there who got nothing to wear but the t-shirt on their backs. Is that what you want?
No, massa.
No is right. You want the life we can give you. And we want you to have that life too, son. So you just do your job, and you'll get to keep this life.
Yes, massa.
That a boy. Now, how many lashings does Miss Lydia get? Do you remember?
Yes, sir. 40 lashings, massa.
That's right. 10 for every minute she was late to her shift on the field. And she knows that by now, so don't take pity on her. Personally, I hate to see a creature as pretty as she is get hurt at all. But, pretty a negress as she may be, she's still a negress and must obey our rules. I'll tie her up for you and see to it that she's in place for her whipping. When you hear me holler, you come on down and finish her off.
Yes, massa.
Of course, you might hear a scream first, but pay no mind to that. I'm just reminding her who's boss.
Colonist exits. Alexander looks out. The screams of his mother come from the other side of the stage in the darkness. The water begins to move again. The heads and limbs begin to bob. They chant with growing volume.
Alex, remember. Remember who you are.
Alex, remember. Before you go too far.
Alex, remember.
Remember who you are.
Alex falls to his knees and prays to the omniscient.
Dear God, can you hear me? Can you see me on my knees? Dear God, now I need you. I've been living faithfully. Dear God, I need saving from this moment in my life.
Alexander!
Dear God, I'm afraid you have forsaken me this time.
The water begins to settle.
Alex, remember, before you go too far.
The ocean is still. We hear the mother whimpering. Alex stands slowly, getting himself together, and picking up his whip, walks into the darkness. Scene 4. Daytime. The ocean has absorbed into the field. Gilbert and Malcolm are picking cotton. Alex is in the background, overseeing.
Does the master know she's not working?
No. And that's how it needs to stay.
You know, if a son of mine ever did that to me, I would have no more reason to get out of bed in the morning.
Seems like she feels the same way. It's not like she'd never been whipped before, but this time it seemed to cripple her before the whip even grazed her skin. The minute she saw Alex draw back his hand, she was gone. I ain't never seen her eyes so empty.
He's a nasty Negro, he is. To do that to his mama.
He didn't have no choice.
We all got a choice. If I had to risk my life for my mama's, I would choose mine. That's the choice. And he chose his mother's.
Either way, Lydia didn't bring him into this world just to have him taken away. She's real sympathetic to his situation. She'll love that boy till the day she dies.
It's a shame how this happens. The master just goes around causing trouble any way he can and leaves the mess for everybody else to clean up after.
What you talking?
He rapes our women and then steals our children and turns them all against us. Every one of them. Mulattoes are the most selfish people out there. They don't care about the master. They don't care about the slaves. All they care about is themselves, or else they wouldn't go around beating everything that moves.
Well, Alex don't do that.
Well now, he's new blood. Give him a couple more years and you'll see. You won't even want to call him family no more. You'll be too ashamed to.
I ain't never gonna disown my son the way he has me and Lydia. What right would I have to be hurting right now if I plan on hurting him the same way?
Well, I hate to tell you this, Gilbert, but he ain't your son.
What is Lydia's is mine. Nothing's gonna change that, Malcolm.
You know, I've been here on this plantation longer than you and Lydia have put together. Maybe you don't want to hear what I got to say now, but you'll remember this conversation years down the road and wish you'd listen to me.
Just because I don't agree, don't mean I'm not listening.
Alex walks over to them and clears his throat.
It's a hot one today, ain't it?
Sure is.
A wave from the black Atlantic washes over Alex from behind. Gilbert and Malcolm look back as the wave engulfs them too. Lights out. Scene 5. The moon rises once again. The heads and limbs bob. The omniscient voice booms.
Now we travel to an Alexander of another time. Mixed and confused, resented by his peers, he is accepted as an exception to blackness in the white world. He is dismissed for his shortcomings of blackness in the black world. Instead of being treated as both, he is perceived as neither. There is no happy medium between his two halves. Circumstances are not as devastating as they were for the biracial overseer, but are complicated nonetheless. And because of this, Alex clings fervently to the ocean floor, just hoping to find footing on a piece of common ground.
The ocean rises to reveal Alex amidst the other bodies in the ocean. He is wandering. The bodies touch him, pull him aside, make him listen.
Look at his skin. It's so pretty. I love those light-skinned boys. Too bad he doesn't have the light eyes and hair, too. That's the ideal mix.
He doesn't even go for sisters. He probably thinks he's too good for us. Well, guess what then? We're too good for you. You didn't even dress right.
You know what I like about you, Alexander? You don't have that obnoxious black scent. You know what I mean? Not like ghetto, yo, I'm a thug, so watch out talk. It's like, oh please, get a job and grow up.
I love that hair. It's so big. How'd you get it like that? Is it natural?
Oh, so you act white because you mixed. Well, that's cool. We're just gonna have to help you out. Get you some cornrows or something. Teach you how to walk with swag and everything.
Diversity and tolerance. We are all about mixing it up and letting all kinds of people work for us. It looks good on our part nowadays anyway. And what's great about you is that you can really go either way.
I love how universal you look. That's so in.
Boy, you got good hair. You should straighten it.
One more question before you go. What's up with your hair? I know it's not a Jew fro, but what is it? Don't worry. This won't affect the hiring decision.
I love dating you, but you know I could never bring you home to meet my family, right?
Stop it! All of you! I want to go home.
The ocean sinks, and the projection of home lights its surface.
Home. What is home? Is it the house you grew up in? Is it the town you learned to love after finally managing to move away? Is it a safe space where nothing challenges or invalidates your existence? Is home in the people who love you? Is home inside Is home ever changing with the tide?
Scene 6. A light comes up on the forefront of the stage. Alexander enters. His mom, Susan, is on the other side cooking. She is white.
Oh, you're home.
Yeah,
How's your day?
fine.
Fine. That's it? Did something happen?
No, I'm just sick of dealing with this.
Dealing with what, Alex?
Just people telling me what I can and can't be.
They're just jealous, honey.
No, they're not jealous, Mom.
Why do you think they say the things they do? Because they feel good about themselves?
I don't know.
Well, I know.
No, you don't know. You don't know anything about being mixed.
I've raised you, haven't I? When you were little, I dealt with people constantly asking me if you were adopted. People I didn't even know believed they had the right to ask me anything they wanted. Why? Because they're so unsure of the world, they need people like you and me to clarify and make things easier for them.
That doesn't mean they're jealous.
Okay, jealous may not be the best word, but insecure. That's what they are. And you know what? Some of them are a little jealous too.
That's such a mom response.
What do you mean?
Well, you always make it seem like everything is other people's problems, not mine.
Well, it is their problem that they don't understand you. They're ignorant.
Who's ignorant, Mom? The whole world?
Unless they've had some experience with this issue, yes, I would say so.
I'm just sick of people asking me things like, what are you? Or why do you talk so white? It's like, why do you need to know?
I know it's not easy.
No, you don't know, Mom, and neither does Dad.
We do know, Alex, because the people that are confused or bothered by you are the same people that give me and your father dirty looks when we walk down the street together. Your father and I have been through a hell of a lot more than you realize, merely because we loved each other in an era when racism was still very much alive. My own family nearly disowned me until the day I told them I was pregnant with you. They thought I had betrayed the family and settled for less. Little did they know that your father had more love in his heart for me than my own family ever did. He didn't judge me. He didn't see my color. He believed in my dreams, and I knew that he would make the best father a child could have.
She collapses in a chair at the table.
Are you okay?
No, Alex. I don't like to see you go through this. You'd think people would have wised up by now and gotten over themselves enough to realize that people are people, each and every one of us. And race is just something society wants us to live by. It's not even real. I'm no different than your father. You're no different than us. We're human.
Yeah, I wish it didn't matter. But it does, Mom.
Well, thankfully you have nice friends, right? That little mixed girl you hang out with is so cute. You two almost look like siblings.
Mom.
What? With the hair, and you two practically have the same skin tone. You don't think so?
Yeah, we're both brown with big hair, but that's it. She doesn't look like my sister.
Alex goes to the table.
All I'm saying is that she's a nice girl, and you two have an understanding. You should be thankful. Your experience is unique, you know? And not everyone can grasp the things you go through. But having someone that does, because they've been through it too, is invaluable. That's why I go to my women's group.
Is being a woman really that hard?
Yes, as a matter of fact, sometimes it is, Alex. Men don't understand women the same way other women do. And it's nice to know I'm not the only one who feels that way.
What are you making for dinner?
Chicken parm. Why don't you help me finish setting the table? It's almost ready.
He goes to the drawer and gets some silverware.
You know, I'm thinking about studying African American history next year.
When did you make that decision?
Well, we just had this chapter on slavery in my history class, and I don't know. I think it's good to know that stuff.
Your dad never found any purpose for it?
Well, I'm not dad. I want to know where I came from.
You came from us.
Right. But before that, I think it's important. Maybe if everyone knew their history, they would stop hating people for no reason. Maybe they would understand everyone more and just see each other as people, you know?
African American history is only part of your history, Alex.
I know, but it's a part school always leaves out. And I'm sick of feeling like I don't know who I am.
Well, I know who you are. You're my beautiful baby boy, and I love you just the way you are.
I know.
Your grandmother always worried how difficult your life would be. I thought she was being ridiculous at the time. Alex, I know you're going through a rough time, but I want you to know that your father and I raised you the way we did so that you never have to pick sides.
Everybody else keeps picking sides for me.
That doesn't mean you have to agree with them.
One drop, Mom.
What do you mean when you say that?
One drop of black blood and I'm black. That's it.
I don't like where this conversation is going.
This is the way it is, Mom.
He finishes setting the table.
Is dinner done yet?
Yes, but we're going to wait for your father to get home.
I'll be in my room.
Alex.
What?
This is the last thing I ever wanted to happen.
Why?
Because you're not black. You're mixed. And that's a beautiful thing. I don't want you to be ashamed of that or in denial. It's who you are.
It's what I am. Who I am is what I'm trying to figure out.
Alex's dad, Gilbert, enters.
Oh, honey, I'm glad you're home.
Me too.
He kisses her on the cheek.
It's been a long day. How you doing there, kiddo?
No, I'm all right.
All right.
He had a rough day today.
Is that so? You want to talk about it?
It wasn't even like anything happened. Just got frustrated.
Frustrated? Frustrated about what?
I don't know.
Don't say those words unless you really don't know, Alexander.
I don't. I just feel like I really don't belong anywhere.
We all feel like that in high school. Did you, Susan?
Yes.
I did too. I swear, that's what high school is for. Making everyone feel like they're a misfit. But go on.
Forget it.
Good. And you should forget it too. Don't let those kids get to you, all right?
Yup.
You know, he's thinking about taking African American history classes.
Good for you. They didn't even offer that when I was in school. How times have changed, huh? How's dinner coming along there, Susie?
Ready when you are, Gil.
Ready. I am famished.
Me too.
He puts food on the table.
Grab a seat, Alex.
I'm not really hungry.
Alexander gets up from the table.
What do you mean you're not hungry? Did you eat? I'm talking to you! What is going on with him? You took the time to cook his dinner, and he's not even considerate enough to sit and eat it with us, let alone say thank you.
Gilbert puts down his napkin and moves to get up and go after Alex. Susan puts her hand on him.
It's okay. He's having a bad day. Let him be.
Both seated again. They hold hands for a moment and then begin to eat. End scene. Scene 7. Spotlight on Alexander on the other side of the stage.
Mongrels, mulattoes, mestizos, mutts. All names for people like me everywhere. We fall between the cracks, always lodged in the middle of two opposing worlds. Always questioned, usually misunderstood. I want to know my history and grab a hold of me, who I am, not who someone believes me to be. My feelings are valid. My issues are real. I deserve to be recognized for the person that I am. Alexander Eugene Sanders, multiracial and proud. You cannot shame me for existing. I am as much a product of our history as all of you. I deserve to know my roots.
Scene 8. The moon rises in the back. Heads and limbs bob in the ocean again.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul.
Love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul.
Lights come up on Lydia. Gilbert is applying meat fat to her wounds from the lashing.
Like an ocean, I've got love. Like an ocean, I've got love. You remember that one?
How could I forget?
I used to sing him to sleep with that one. And I meant it too. I really loved him with my whole heart. It just flowed out of me. Of course, I never could have loved him the way you did, Lydia. But I loved him more than I would have known a man could have loved if he hadn't come into my life.
He finishes with her wounds.
There you go.
Thank you, Gilbert.
Now you let that sit in for a while before you get dressed. I know you don't like to stay still for too long, but you're just gonna have to do it. I would do anything I could for you, Lydia. And I know Alex would. I know he would too if his life weren't on the line.
I'd rather not talk about him, Gilbert. He's not my son anymore.
You don't mean that, Lydia.
Yes, I do. If he could do this to the woman that brought him into this world, then I am nothing to him. He wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for me. And now he's trying to take my life.
He had to do it. He didn't have no say in the matter.
I would never lay a finger on him that didn't have love in its bones. Never.
I know, Lydia. You were good to him. We were both good to him.
Think he even remembers? Do you think he knows we're his parents?
Yes, I do think so.
I just don't understand. I've never been so hurt in my whole life.
The wounds within our hearts bring on the most pain.
He holds her.
I tell you one thing. I know his heart is hurting too. This is bad for all of us. But this will pass. This will pass with all the rest, Lydia. All things do. You'll see.
Lights fade on them. The ocean moves and sings one last time, softly.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul.
Thank you.